So our next reader is Melissa Eppard. Melissa Eppard, she's awesome. She's made it very clear that she would not like to get eaten by sharks. Melissa Eppard.
I had never left the country, never flown on a plane, but when I was 22, I went to Costa Rica all by myself. It was right before the Y2K New Year, and I thought this was the perfect place to be if the world was going to implode. I could live out my days foraging mango and coconut and kiss my student loan debt goodbye. This is how I found myself one morning in a hammock with a lanky visionary artist named Carrie. He had these long, heavy dreadlocks that looked so itchy in the heat. He wanted to show me this killer snorkeling spot off a nearby island, but we could only go when the tide was low. So we started walking down the only road and soon saw our friend Jason's car. He stopped and, noticing our gear, asked about our plans for the day. We leaned against the open window ledge to chat when a moment later, without any permission or warning, I felt drop, drop. Jason squeezed 2 drops of liquid onto our hands. I watched Carrie lick it up, and with a nervous giggle, I did the same. I mean, how could I resist? About 10 seconds after he drove away, the gravity of my action set in. I was about to trip my face off in the Pacific Ocean. The land bridge, only accessible during low tide, stretched on for a mile. I wasn't even peeking yet, but mesmerized by the pools of trapped sea life in the pockets of volcanic rock and exposed coral. Here the story becomes Technicolor Oz. I put my face down in the water, and I was back in the womb of the mother, man. Everything bulged with life, drawing me in and pushing me out with the waves. Microscopic pores in the coral opened and pulsed, little puffs of genetic code spilling out and mixing with salt and water, merging with my skin. It was the pulsing heat of my back that first got my attention. After hours floating face down, I was fried on one side of my body. But it gets even better. We climbed up over the reef, and that's when I saw it. Holy shit, the land bridge was gone. In a matter of minutes, the water was up to my hips. And when I looked back at the island and ahead to the beach far in the distance, I dissolved into delirious laughter. We were swimming in the middle of the fucking ocean. I was rolling. Snot pouring out my nose, my ribs cramping with hysterics. At this point, Carrie just began dragging me as I floated on my back, and I just let him pull me along. But then suddenly, something whipped against my thigh like the sharp snap of a belt. I flipped around and began clawing at the water in panic, nearly hopping up onto the surface. Clearly, we had angered Mother Ocean. In my mind, it was a shark. Now it was eels. Now it was a venomous sea snake. Maybe it was that huge stingray we had seen earlier. Like a wind-up toy, cranked to the max, my arms pinwheeled through the choppy waves. I dusted Carrie. He was somewhere way off behind me. If he was going to be the appetizer, I did not want to be the entree. My arms were on fire. My chest was about to explode. A couple of mercy waves pushed us towards the beach, and we crumbled on the hot sand. Somehow, I made it back to the hammock, but it was all a blur after that.